I had a conversation with a liberal guy a couple weeks ago, Luke Beasley. He came back on the Culture War podcast, and we continued the discussion. And I tremendously respect that he and some others were willing to come on the show and have these conversations. In this debate, I mentioned how there is the left and there is no the right. And so what the institutions like to do is they say the right is more violent. Excuse me. And I point out actually the left is more violent. And he argued this, and he said, the data shows, the studies show, here's a press release from a university, it is the right that is more violent. Well, I got an issue with that. You see, the problem is, right off the bat, what is the right? Well, they call me right-wing. I certainly don't agree on a lot of moral and policy issues with a lot of traditional conservatives. Conservatives won't call me a conservative, but liberals certainly will. I guess that means I'm in the middle, right? Well, anybody to the right of the left is a conservative. And so what they say is when you're the right, they're literally saying you're not me. You're not the cult. You're not us. I said, you can't take a authoritarian, traditionalist, neo-Nazi type guy and claim that he and Dave Smith, a Jewish anti-interventionist, are the same thing. But that's what they do. Now, as for the left, you can. Yeah, sorry, guys. You actually can lump in the left largely with each other, and I'll tell you exactly why. And it's this story right here. Breaking from the post-millennial, ANTIFA, trans activists swarm University of Washington TPUSA event, forcing cancellation. In fact, this young woman, Olivia Krolchik, says, hey, Donald Trump, University of Washington does not support free speech. January 21st, I was hunted down by Antifa at UWash, kidnapped in a room with TPUSA students, and forced to evacuate the building after windows were broken and the violence became too much. Jeez. Now you may be saying, but Tim, how does this mean all of the left and the liberals are saying that doesn't count? You can't. Oh, boy. You see, I've covered the far left events and the riots, and I've explained the idea of a diversity of tactics. The right doesn't have that. If Donald Trump gives a speech, he says, you've got very fine people on both sides, and I am not talking about the neo-Nazis and the white nationalists because they should be condemned totally. Wow. Even Donald Trump on the right is outright saying that when a group of individuals come together for a common cause, which was specifically they wanted statues not to be torn down, Trump says, we condemn the neo-Nazis and the white nationalists. The regular folks who lived here who didn't like the violence and didn't want to see the statues torn down are a different issue. You can't combine them because they don't like each other. Donald Trump, of course, being the leader of the populist right movement, condemning this group, well, it makes it pretty obvious, right? When has the left condemned themselves? They don't. I mean, you might get a little something here or there, but you had the Chaz, the Chop, you had the insurrection on 5/29, we call it. And then we have this. I'll keep it simple for you, ladies and gentlemen. Where was Antifa during the Biden administration? Honest question. Joe Biden gets elected, call it whatever you want, and Antifa just kind of stopped. During Donald Trump's administration, we had far leftists smashing and destroying, burning all across this country. Donald Trump loses the election to Joe Biden, and then Antifa just stops. You see, that's the point. When Democrats, corporate neo-lib establishment controls things, the far left is nowhere to be found. They're not out there rioting or smashing things. Don't get me wrong. To a certain degree, they were. But they pop up specifically in times of right-wing or some kind of conservative control. It's a tendency. It's not absolute. That is, during the Biden administration, of course, there was some Antifa stuff. But let me make this point. It's personal experience, my friends. That's all I can tell you. I was protesting with the anti-war left during the Bush administration. And the moment Barack Obama got elected, they were gone. And that was my wake-up call. I said, I thought we were anti-war. No, they were just anti-Republican. And I said, I don't care about Republicans or Democrats. I care about the issues. Well, they largely don't. So what do you get? Antifa, far leftists, violent, whatever. When Joe Biden's in power, they don't really do much. But as soon as Donald Trump gets in, you give them a day. And here they are violently attacking conservatives once again. Because that's the game. The left is what I describe as blunt force terror. And when they say the right, they're meaning a disparate group of varying ideologies unaligned with the left. And you get what I would call acute terror. That is, there may be some extremist, white supremacist, neo-Nazi, ultra-nationalist, whatever you want to call it, whatever ideas they have, and they engage in serious violence. And it's bad. And then you get the far left that consistently, over and over again, beats people, terrorizes, strikes fear in the hearts of so many. And it's incessant. But it doesn't usually rise to that extreme point in national news attention. That is, a far leftist punching a guy in the face isn't going to make international news. So when that happens 800 times a month, you don't really get a lot of news coverage on it. That's why I say it's persistent blunt force. Now that Donald Trump is the president again, surprise, surprise, it's the return of Antifa. But where were they during the authoritarian expansionist policies of the Biden regime? Yeah, how about this? There certainly were far-left protests related to Israel, but that is a mixed bag. You had anti-war right people who were upset with it, but don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I'm saying that the black-clad masked individuals aren't likely to protest or riot during Biden's administration, during the Democrat administration. My point is the tendencies. That's it. The left doesn't feel a need to go around smashing and being violent because they were being placated by Democrats. Once Trump is in, they come out acting a fool. Here's a story from the Post-Millennial. Before we get started, my friends, smash the like button, share the show, and become a member over at timcast.com. My friends, you gotta watch the uncensored Green Room episode with Dominic Tarczynski. This guy was a Polish MP. He's a European member of parliament now, and he is talking about the threat of communism and why he is speaking out, coming to the United States, and what he hopes to bring to Poland and to the European Union. He talks about what it was like in the Soviet Union. If you want to understand these far leftists and how terrifying this stuff can be, this guy's story is absolutely incredible. So I'm honored that he gave us time for this uncensored members only show. Again, timcast.com. Click join us. Watch it. Green Room with Dominic Tarczynski. Here's a story from Post Millennial. On Tuesday night, far left activists, come on, guys, who wrote this one? Ari Hoffman, you can do better. You know, we're friends with the Post Millennial, so I always tease him. Far left rioters and extremists forced the cancellation of a speech by Olivia Krolczyk with University of Washington's Turning Point USA chapter. Krolczyk is an ambassador for the Riley Gaines Center and reporter for Campus Reform. Krolczyk became a speaker while pursuing a major in chemistry at the University of Cincinnati. She was given a failing grade in a project proposal in one of her courses for using the term biological woman. You know, I got to be honest. I might give you I give you a mark. I wouldn't fail you. But we don't need to say biological woman. That's just playing into their gender ideology. Women already means adult human female. But I get the point. I'm just teasing. She posted about the incident on TikTok, and the video reached more than 6 million views before it was deleted by TikTok over community guideline violations. I'm telling you about TikTok, you guys. Riley Gaines arguing in defense of TikTok. Come on, Riley. They literally deleted this post, 6 million people, because they don't want people challenging this stuff. She was permanently banned from the platform for stating the biological fact that men and women are different. Indeed they are. We have this post from Frontline's TPUSA. Leftist protesters, come on, guys. Leftist extremists infiltrated the TPUSA students' event, promoting the Riley Gaines Center featuring Olivia Krolczyk. Activists pulled the fire alarm and are blocking would-be attendees from getting close to the room where the event takes place. Typo, guys, come on. We have this from Ari Hoffman on X. Seattle radicals need a new cause, so tonight they will be protesting Olivia Krolczyk speaking for TPUSA at UW about there being only 2 genders, according to biology, and now the U.S. government. Thanks to an executive order by Donald Trump, which for the life of me, I can't believe we needed. We needed the president to sign something being like men are men and women are women. You know, I'll say it. I tried being nice. I did. I said, look, I'll respect people who give me respect, but I am so done with the abuse that these people have levied on us. You know, I have friends who are trans, right? That's how the saying goes. Like, I got friends who are black. But, you know, there are people that we consider to be trans and not woke. And they say, call me whatever you want, right? There's gays against groomers. I got no beef. You mind your own business. Keep it away from the kids. They agree. And so when we look at what's going on right now, I got to tell you, I'm at my wit's end with these people who are violent. They call it the TPUSA movement. It's Antifa, but it's a transgender ideology, Antifa violent cell or ideology, whatever you want to call it. And they threaten people. And they're doing just degenerate things. They are committing crimes. I'm not saying all trans people. I'm specifically saying they are criminals who also happen to be trans. And I am done being nice about this. So Donald Trump issues his executive order. It is time the censorship stopped. I don't know what that means for YouTube. You know, YouTube may still retaliate because of their ideology, so we'll see. Post Millennial says Antifa activists had announced over the weekend that they would be targeting the event. Posters read, "No TPUSA transphobia at UW." We've got some video here. Whoa.
This is unbelievable. It's like middle school.
It's a little bit worse than that, my friend.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Can you
Hang
turn
on
the
a
phone
second.
back on your outfit, please? Can you turn the camera back on your outfit? You just said it's like middle school. I think it was relevant.
Sir.
This is crazy. Here we go. We've seen it, though, right? Protesters are line dancing and waving signs outside Thompson Hall at UW in an attempt to shut down the event. Protect women from men. That's amazing. What a title. What a title. I expect we're going to see a lot more of this. Now, I don't mind if people are outside waving signs. That's fine. I'm not going to complain about that. But if they're intimidating, terrifying, blocking the exits, throwing bricks and smashing windows, which they did, and threw noisemakers, and wow, geez, let's play this clip. Wow. So that sounds like they pulled the fire alarm. All right, let's just turn that off. They smashed a window. These people are violent extremists. Now, I don't know the degree to which Pam Bondi and Kash Patel have the time to prioritize such actions against these violent criminals, but I hope they do. It may not rise to the level of federal prosecution, so be it. But where it does, I hope they go after them. And I have to wonder, with Antifa being a loose-knit cell network, right? They say it's not a group, it's an ideology, despite the fact that they fly the same flag and they coordinate with each other. The moment any one of these groups coordinates with another one for the purpose of violence, I believe the feds should get involved in, talking about interstate. If the Seattle chapter confers with the California chapter, the feds should go in and say, you are engaged in interstate conspiracy to engage in violence and deprivation of rights. I don't care if leftists want to go and wave signs. You're allowed to do that if you want to chant. But when you smash windows and threaten death and violence, that's when there should be intervention. The states should be shutting that down. Now, where there is interstate conspiracy between these groups to deprive rights and engage in violence, the feds are going to have to do it. But my friends, it took only a day or two before the far left started attacking conservative events once again. And isn't it funny that during the Biden administration, they were oh so quiet? Now, I know there were the Palestinian protests. I get it. That was during Biden, and they challenged him on it. But that's the issue where they broke with Biden. On everything else, they were nowhere to be found. So we'll see what this next 4 years has in store for us. But I hope the federal government, law enforcement, holds people accountable. Smash the like button, share the show with everyone you know. Become a member at timcast.com. More segments to come. Thank you all so much for hanging out, and we will see you all in the next video.